In this series, we're asking, how did Toyota get so big? Today, it's the 10th largest company in the world. We uncovered 2 clues on how Toyota got so big. First, they started out as inventors and remained innovative. Second, they focused on customer service. We followed the story of Seiichi Toyoda, who was an inventor. Then we followed his son, Kiichiro. We saw how he implemented Jidoka at the heart of his automotive manufacturing business. We learned how he fixed customers' cars when they broke down, just like Toyota does today. Today, 80% of the Toyotas sold 20 years ago are still on the road. If that doesn't say quality, then I don't know what does. There's a lot more to come, so let's continue on our road trip through Toyota's history. It's 1952. Kiichiro doesn't live to see the release of Toyota's first mass-produced passenger car. He is about to be reinstated as president of Toyota when he suddenly dies. This leaves Taizo Ishida to continue as president. Taizo originally took his position when Kiichiro stepped down. He was personally trained in the loom industry by Seiichi Toyoda. He saw himself as Toyota's caretaker and looked after the company during the labor dispute. Under his leadership, the Crown is introduced in 1955. It's Toyota's first mass-produced passenger car in Japan. 2 years later, the Crown becomes their first vehicle to be exported to the United States. But it fails in the U.S. market. The price is higher than the European imports, and it lacks horsepower. Some say it's because of Toyota's unsophisticated marketing. The name Toyopet Crown is unappealing to Americans, since it contains the words toy and pet. Hard not to agree with that. After all, who wants a toy car? Although, there are fans of the Beetle and Mini, so why not Toyopet? Anyway, in its first year, it sells only 287 vehicles. In 1960, it sells just 659. Compare that to the Ford Falcon, which sells 435,000, and Chevy Corvair, which sells 250,000. So, Toyota redesigns the car and launches the all-new Toyota Crown in 1963 without the Toyopet name. The car is longer, lower, and has more engine power. Sales inch up to almost 1,100 vehicles a year. It's better, but not great. Toyota limps on. Then, they develop a new car for the U.S. market, the Corolla. Toyota makes huge improvements and designs the Corolla with America's open roads in mind. It has a 90 horsepower engine. This is almost twice as powerful as the Volkswagen Beetle, which is the nation's best-selling import at the time. It also has air conditioning, an automatic transmission, everything that Americans want in a car. By 1967, Toyota has sold 32,000, pushing the company to the 5th most imported brand in the United States. That's clue number 3 to Toyota's success. When Toyota tried but didn't succeed, they tried again. And clue number 4, understand your customers. If the car isn't suited for American roads, then change the car specifications. If customers aren't interested in a car that sounds like a toy, then change the name. If people like the name, don't change it if it's not broken. Which brings us to the Crown name. Earlier we saw that Seiichi Toyoda became known as the king of Japanese inventors. Now the company is releasing a range of successful cars, which all happen to have names related to a royal crown. After the release of the Toyota Crown, he developed a car called the Corolla, which means crown in Latin. It is initially exported as the Tiara. Thereafter comes Corolla, which means small crown in Latin. What about the Camry? That means little crown in Japanese. And don't forget the Toyota Scepter, named after the staff or rod held by royalty and an accessory to the crown. Is it a coincidence that they become the king of all car companies? Enter Eiji Toyoda. He's Kiichiro's much younger cousin who graduated as a mechanical engineer. Kiichiro had invited Eiji to join his car business before the war. It's the 1950s. Eiji is visiting Ford factories in the U.S. By now, Toyota's been manufacturing cars for 13 years and has made over 2,500 in total. Contrast that to Ford is making 8,000 vehicles a day. Eiji is awed by the scale, but Eiji believes that he has found both material waste and production inefficiencies at Ford. He believes that Ford and Toyota are near equals in terms of technology. He decides to adopt American mass production methods, but with better quality standards. To do this, he returns to Toyota's roots. He collaborates with Taiichi Ono, a veteran loom machinist. Together, they find ways to lower costs by eliminating excess inventory and waste. They make incremental improvements to make cars quicker, easier, and cheaper to assemble. That will become known later as the Toyota Way. One of the elements is Kanban. To explain how Kanban works, let's take the example of a pizza restaurant. It's easy to make one pizza on time, but what if you receive a lot of orders together? You don't want to make the pizzas before they're ordered or prepare ingredients too soon. The pizza and ingredients need to be fresh, but you also don't want to run out of ingredients. This will delay getting your orders out in a reasonable time. Let's use Kanban to help you solve this problem. First, arrange the ingredients in the order you build the pizza. Prepare enough ingredients to say 4 pizzas. Then arrange them in a way that you can quickly see when and which ingredients are running low. In this example, when using ingredients, it leaves an empty space, so you can see when and how much you need. The empty space is a visual clue. If you don't replenish the ingredients, the entire production line will get held up at that spot. Toyota uses this process in their car production lines. They also fine-tune the concept of Kaizen. Kaizen is a concept in making small but continuous improvements. So how does Kaizen work? Step 1. Imagine you work in a packaging factory. You notice that the packaging tape often rolls onto the floor. Every time this happens, you must stop working and retrieve it. You think it would be good to have a tape dispenser on the desk. It definitely saves time. Step 2. But first, you need to observe to make sure it's not just you who finds it a problem. So you realize other employees and find they are struggling with the role. Step 3. So maybe now you talk to others to see if they have better ideas. Step 4. You vote on the best idea, which turns out to be the dispenser. Step 5. You put the dispenser on your bench. Step 6. You check to see if it's working. It's important to measure the results. Step 7. If it works well, then you suggest that everyone gets a dispenser on their bench. It may seem small, but imagine you have thousands of people working on a company. This will add up to a huge time saving. These ideas are used in many of the world's largest companies today, not just in automobile manufacturing, but in other businesses too. You could probably find ways to use these in your life or business, which is clue number 5 to Toyota's success. Improve things incrementally and constantly. Now let's get back to our story. It's the 1960s. Toyota makes a bold move. Up until now, the company is seen as practical and imitative. The Toyota 2000 GT changes all that. The Toyota 2000 GT is a limited production front-engine, rear-wheel drive, 2-seat, hardtop coupe Grand Tourer. It's designed in collaboration with Yamaha and revealed at the Tokyo Motor Show. It receives rave reviews and is compared favorably with a Porsche 911. The car wins 3rd place in the 1966 Japanese Grand Prix. 2 convertibles are specially made for the James Bond film You Only Live Twice. It also becomes the first seriously collectible Japanese car and will later sell at auctions for as much as $1.2 million US. Now it's 1967. Eiji Toyota becomes president of the company. In 1972, Toyota reached the milestone of 1 million vehicles sold. By 1974, the Corolla was one of the best-selling cars worldwide. By 1975, they overtake Volkswagen and become the #1 import brand in the United States. One of the things people love about Toyota is that the cars are so reliable. You might wonder why the Toyota Corolla remains so successful. Remember back to the Toyota Way? Well, Toyota was never content to sit back. They continued to make improvements. This led to the Corolla becoming one of the greatest cars of all time. Eiji played a large role in this happening. But it wasn't only him. He had someone at his side learning from him and supporting him the whole time. Stay tuned to find out what this was. But first, let's talk briefly about the Celica, meaning celestial or heavenly. This model charges into the Toyota stage in 1970. It's powered by 4 cylinders, and all-wheel turbocharged models are offered in 1986. In motorsports, it's known for its rallying prowess. We'll be talking more about this heavenly car in future episodes, especially the 1994 model, which I'd go so far to say has changed some people's lives. I know it changed mine. Now it's 1982. A new era begins for Toyota. Kichiro's eldest son, Shoichiro, becomes president. The press calls him the Crown Prince of Toyota. More crowns. Before we talk about Shoichiro does as president, we need to rewind almost 2 decades. Because hidden behind the scenes, Shoichiro has been continuously working at improving quality control. We were referring to him when we said AG had help. They were making many more cars and had many more people working. The rise in claim costs alarmed AG, who was vice president at that time. Soichiro wanted to bring in exports and quality control. He convinced AG and Ishida to let him do this, but it wasn't very popular with everyone. Even production expert Taiichi Ono, the veteran loom machinist, thought he was wasting his time. They were proved wrong when his program resulted in a huge improvement. Ono even found it helped his just-in-time assembly line process. So now we know just how responsible Soichiro was for Toyota's success. Toyota was known for making quality cars, just like the loom stock, when its single thread was broken. So clue number 6 to Toyota's success was quality control. It's 1983. Soichiro challenges Toyota engineers to build the world's best car. The project is codenamed F1 for Flagship 1. The result is the Lexus LS400. Which becomes Japanese best-selling luxury car. There is a theory that says Lexus is the combination of the words luxury and elegance. Another says it's an acronym for Luxury Exports to the US. It's true it was created specifically for the US. But are those theories true? What do you think? Soichiro is hugely responsible for taking Toyota global. Up until the 1980s, Toyota is still primarily an export-based economy. Soichiro knows how to become a truly global organization. The company needs to manufacture its products in the local markets, especially in the United States. In 1984, Toyota enters into a partnership with General Motors to build its first car in Fremont, California. This is clue number 7 to Toyota's success. Worldwide factories helped to make Toyota the world's largest automaker. Today, Toyota has 53 manufacturing sites outside of Japan. Most of these were opened during the 1980s. Soichiro believes people are the key to the company's future. He introduces practices like Genji Jambutsu into management. This means go and see for yourself. So, if there is a problem, a manager must personally go and observe the problem to understand it. Then, the manager works with the employees to solve the problem through consensus. In the early 2000s, Soichiro is considered Japan's leading voice on international cooperation and globalization. He believes in people, and so does Toyota, which is clue number 8 in Toyota's success. Investing in people. In part 3, we'll see Toyota racing to the future. They make a brave move to release hybrid car. Some consider the Prius to be the most important car after Henry Ford unveiled his Model T. And Toyota doesn't stop there. Their desire to help customers will help them reimagine the company. We've got more exciting content coming very soon.